The stream has started. We'll give it a little bit of time for everyone to come in and join the stream. Alright. I think we are ready to start. And
Awesome.
with that, let's introduce our new friend. Tell us about Luca Maldonado.
So, Luca's an ex-carny. He was running with the carnival for a long time before he ended up getting picked up by the Black Staff for his magical talents. There's a little more in depth there's a little more details about that, but it's, the general overview is he ended up getting, kind of scouted out by the Black Staff of Waterdeep, got picked up and, started getting trained by him. After that, he ended up falling in with this group of vigilantes called the Screamers of the Second Ward. Ended up running with them for a while, made some enemies through them, and after a while ended up falling in with the Eyes of the Fallen. There's, like I said, I've skipped over a lot of details with that, but that's the general gist.
Alright. And a physical description?
He's a tall-ish guy, kind of lanky, tiefling, purple skin, these kind of dark red eyes. He's missing one of his arms, and he's got a prosthetic arm. Other than that, he dresses in a lot of like colorful clothing. He's got a lot of jewelry.
Awesome.
Yeah, that kind of vibe.
Uh, then give us a little bit of what his personality is like. What is his ideals of the world that he is in?
Luke has been raised in a very hard world, but he's very much of the opinion that everything can be made better with enough effort. He can be a bit of an asshole and a bit of a trickster sometimes, but in general, he's a good-hearted guy who's really trying to make a difference.
All right. Then, being the warm-hearted guy trying to make a difference, let's actually do a little interaction between you and the one who previously had been your mentor and master, Blackstaff.
Okay.
Just to give you a little sense of your character and where they are at this point.
Okay.
All right. And tell me, which Blackstaff are you specifically looking at?
The most recent Blackstaff, her name is Vajra Safar.
Vajra Safar. Got it. Okay. Then, with that, you and Vajra have a rapport built. Mentor, mentee, apprentice, and master. But also friendship. After spending such time together and working, it's hard to not form a friendship of sorts. And one day, she calls you to her office in the Blackstaff Academy. Typical
Right.
of what she would normally do in trying to have a more private meeting with you. Though, from the message that you were given through the spell message, there was, or not message, sending, there was a bit of a edge to her voice almost. As if something were on her mind when she called you to come to her office.
Alright. Then Luca would probably come in, a little bit, he'd have a little bit of tenseness in his shoulders and the like. He'd be, he'd come in with a confident stride, trying to put that anxiety to the back of his mind. He's not used to hearing his, he's not used to hearing his mentor really shaken up. So hearing that, he's kind of on edge.
All right. As you make your way up through the Blackstaff Academy and begin making your way towards the office that you've spent countless hours in before, there is something different that you notice just walking through the halls and getting a sense of what is going on. The halls are mostly empty, which around this time isn't unusual, but is noticeable.
Got it.
Trying to find the right ambiance for this. Don't really
Go
have
for it.
one. Think this will work best.
Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah. But soon enough, you are at Vajra's office. The exterior holding two gargoyle statues that you are very familiar with being not simple statues, but actual guardians to the entrance of Vajra's office.
All right. Then yeah, I'd probably, give a quiet knock on the door and wait for a response.
After a few moments, you hear through the thick oaken door the muffled voice saying, come in.
All right. With that, he'd haul the door open, head on in. Probably favoring his mechanical arm as it's his primary. It's his you know, it's his dominant hand, so he'd favor it when coming into the room.
As you enter into this room, you can see around you that it appears there is a bit of a change going on. Where previously the room was alight with warm fireplace glow, you can see the fireplace is slowly dimming, though seeming to have been made this way rather than have naturally burned down. It's almost as if a external force was keeping the fire going but controlling the amount of light that it was giving off.
All right.
You see Vajra sitting at her desk, a stack of paper piled up next to her on her right side with a quill and ink pot at the ready. Though, looking at her, go ahead and give me a insight check.
Insight check coming up. That's a 14.
14. The time that you've spent with Vajra, you know, as she is aged and gone through the years, she started to show some age. But recent times, you notice that there's dark circles under her eyes, and the lines across her forehead show worry even when relaxed. Something doesn't necessarily feel right. This wasn't what she looked like the last time that she called you to her office. And as you step forward, she raises her head to look at you and gives you a small smile, waving a hand over to a chair which pulls out, ready for you to sit in it. And she says, thank you for Vajra. Thank you for coming here so quickly. I have much to discuss with you.
Of course. And he would take a seat at that. You don't look well. Are
It.
you sleeping well?
Your worry is appreciated, but rarely does the Black Staff rest.
Fair enough. I can respect that.
Though, take a good look. This could be you one day, she says as she kind of leans back in her chair, trying to look powerful, though as she leans back, you see her elbow kind of slip and she almost falls before catching herself and
Snook, I hope not.
oh, why not? I've
Running with the running with the screamers is already enough for me. But we'll have to see. What did you call me for?
well, it is funny that you should say that about the screamers. You ask me about my wellness, about my sleep. I ask you about yours.
Uh, some some of the Zents had us on the run last night. We had to sleep in the under areas. It was not comfortable, but it's better than no sleep.
I. Luca, you have been a wonderful support to the screamers. You have done much good. But I fear that you are burning the candle at both ends, if you know what I mean.
I can't dispute that. It seems I can't dispute that.
So, it is for that reason that I have a proposition for you. As she reaches over to the stack of papers and begins rifling through it before pulling out a sheaf of parchment and setting it down in front of her and sliding it across the desk towards you.
Right.
On it, you can see it says Eyes of the Fallen Guild Recruitmentship.
Luca read over it with the brow raised. The eyes of the fallen. I've heard of them, but I've never encountered them before.
Well, they don't really do much besides finding powerful magic items and securing them. But I know the guild mistress, and I happen to owe her a favor for a few trinkets that she has given to me. So, when they asked if I could send anyone to help bolster their members, you were at the top of my list.
I don't know. The screamers are busy. The Xanathar's guild is moving a lot more than recently. I don't know if that's a good idea.
Look, I worry about you.
I
Not
know.
simply as your mentor or as your master, but I see so much in you, so much potential. There is so much that you can do, but I think you need to do it away from the screamers for now.
I can promise to give this a try at least. I don't know if it will stick, but I can try.
That is all I ask. I don't require you to abandon the schemers in any way. The Eyes of the Fallen is still based near Waterdeep. It is just outside the walls. So you would be able to find the time to make your way here if the screamers should require you. But there is something else that you may be you may find interesting about the Eyes of the Fallen.
Duh.
They hunt and catalog the ancient magic items of the world, yes. This is known to most. But
Yes.
there is something that they also do for their guild members.
Duh.
She looks to the metal prosthetic that you have. Tell me, does this still bring you pain? Uncomfortable?
Always. But that is just a fact of life.
And if I were to tell you that they may have the magic to make sure that it wasn't?
That is definitely an interesting proposition.
I talked to the guild mistress. They do have the items and magics to ensure that you have a prosthetic near indistinguishable from the original hand that you used to have.
I I don't know if I want that, but something with a little less pain would do well by me.
I am sure that they can do that as well. But
The metal hand has become something of a brand. I'm pretty sure if I walked around with two hands, they'd think I was a different thief.
true, true. It is the most notable of your ostentatious show, so. But there is something that you would have to do whenever you join.
Oh?
When they have a group of new recruits, they like to send them out on a test, a scavenger hunt. Their first mission is one that they do relatively low risk, but want to ensure that the people that they send are capable. They may not do it whenever you first join them, but once they have the suitable amount of new recruits, I want you to try to act as a lead to them.
I can definitely give that a go.
Thank you.
That's not out of my area of expertise.
I thank you.
Of
Because
course.
though you yourself may not see it, and she reaches out a hand, and you see as she reaches her hand out, this black staff forms, materializing in the air and falling into her hand, which she then grabs. There is much that you and I share. And I do not see you as someone who would be happy to simply settle in mundanity. The black staff, it knows who should be its next wielder. Prove to me that you could be a possible candidate.
I will. I will try.
That is all I ask. Now, you'll need to look over the membership and the recruitment form and have it in by the end of this 10 day, if you can.
I'll get it done tonight.
So reliable, always. As you look over this parchment, you can see that there is a form. Basically, it asks your class, age, species, sex, gives all the like basic information, and then it goes into more specifics of how how much you know of magic, what is your understanding of magic items, basically getting a rundown of have you grown up with magic or are you someone who has just now learned of magic.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, then he'd fill it out to the best of his ability. One of the only real notable things he'd fill out is that he would register himself as a wizard.
okay, you can see as you fill it out too that there comes a dull silver glow as you lift quill from parchment for signature, filling out information. It seems that the parchment itself has been enchanted with some sort of spell to it.
Can I roll an Arcana check to try to tell what kind of spell that is?
Sure, go ahead.
So, Arcana. That's a 16.
With a 16, you've seen this kind of spell used before whenever you were first signing up to learn at Blackstaff Academy when you had to enter in or fill out some of your information of who you are, what race, and everything similar to what you see now. This is a how best to equate this to D&D magic because it's not exactly a spell but a magical effect. The magical effect is that it sends over a copy of what is written down to the office of whoever has the other paper that is connected to this. So not
Okay.
only do you have the original form, there's also a copy made and filled out for you so that you don't have to worry about, oh, my information got lost.
Got it.
The At the top of the sheet, you also notice that it says that the current guild mistress of the Eyes of the Fallen is a woman by the name of, and this is an awful time to forget what her name is. I think it was like Ulvan. Ulvan, yeah.
Okay.
I may retcon that later to whatever the proper name is for the first time that I said it, but Ulvan is perfect for right now.
Fair enough.
And at the very bottom, when it asks for your signature, you do see that there is, with your Arcana check, there appears to be a set of runes across the signature through line that's essentially used in the forming of contracts. From what you've seen of this paper itself and the information across it, you're not seeing anything that is necessarily giving you the sense like this is a permanently magically binding contract, but more of the sense that this is a legally magically binding contract.
Okay.
If you can catch that.
Yeah. All right.
All right. And with that,
Then after he's done filling it out, he'd like blow on the paper to dry off the ink before folding it up and putting it in his bag.
folding it away, you're able to stow it and hold it. And do you take the time to go to the Screamers and let them know, or are you going straight to the Eyes of the Fallen?
He'd definitely go to the Screamers first and let people know that, you know, let people know what's going on.
All right. For right now, we won't get too deep into the Screamers, since
It's fine.
I kind of want to just introduce you to the guild.
Yeah, that's fine. We can just like skip over that and do it later or something.
Uh, Basically, you get a lot of the younger folk that have kind of looked up to you as a rising member in this guild. Uh, a bit sad that you're leaving, but whenever you tell them that it's not forever, they seem okay with it. Guild leadership is okay with it as long as if they call for you, you'll do your best to help.
Yeah.
Uh, and then you make your way towards the guild. You can see the guild itself, this large 2-story mansion almost building with 2 wings coming off the main entrance area, and windows that almost seem tinted on the outside, with 2 large blue and gold trim banners that hold a symbol of a silver eye on these banners. The distance between the guild base and Waterdeep is a roughly 20-minute walk.
All right. Then sometime over the period of that walk, he would have disconnected his prosthetic arm and like stashed it away and took the covering off that connects, the kind of plasticky cover off and put it in his bag as well. Let it air out, let some of the bruises heal up.
Mm-hmm. All right. Then, soon enough, you stand in front of a large oak door that holds the same silver eye symbol as the banners on either side of it. You don't seem to be able to hear anything from the interior from where you stand. Almost as if there is no one within. The windows tinted dark, hard to see through. You do also notice there is a large stable house just out front, but off to the left-hand side of the main building. But it too is closed off, fully walled in, with a door big enough to let horses and other mounts through, but currently closed.
All right, then he'd probably push through the main door. Well, check to see if it's locked first before pushing through.
It is not currently locked, and as you push through, you can see inside is a vibrant and rowdy room. There are other tieflings, dwarves, elves, halflings, humans. It's a mix of most of the races of this land, all kind of talking amongst themselves. You have dwarves sitting across from elves in a rowdy game of cards. You have what looks to be a minotaur. A minotaur man sitting at a table off in the corner, the large bull head with almost longhorn style horns jutting out, currently taking time to sharpen a gnarly looking double-headed axe.
Alright.
You'll also notice that there are people just casually using magic around. Prestidigitations are cast across tables to clean them up. People snapping their fingers and glasses becoming chilled for their drinks.
Alright.
Not many places outside of Waterdeep typically would have magic just blatantly being used.
Gotcha.
And at the back of this large, almost it's almost reminiscent of like the Great Hall in Hogwarts,
Gotcha.
with the tables that run lengthwise and the floating candles above. It's pretty much like that, except for in the back there is a counter that runs the about half of the actual width of the room.
Gotcha.
And there appear to be 4 or 5 humanoids behind it. From a distance, look to be elves, dwarfs, and one other tiefling.
Alright. I guess Luca will go and get himself a drink.
Stepping up to this back counter area and looking around, you do see other people are currently drinking, eating, having their meals for the day. You also notice that there is what appears to be on one of the long tables a empty section that has candles that were candles similar to the ones that were above floating in the air are currently down and no flame is lit.
Okay.
Stepping up to the counter, and as you step up you see a... Which one do you go to? There's the tiefling, there's a male elf, female elf, a male dwarf, and a female dwarf.
I guess I'll go to the male elf.
Alright. As you go up to the male elf, you see he is currently writing down something on a piece of parchment. And as you step up, almost seems that he doesn't notice you're standing there, that you are there currently.
Alright. Luca would give him a couple minutes, see if he looks up from his thing.
Hasn't looked up.
Excuse me.
You hear him sigh a little bit, and he goes, "Are you a new member, or are you a returning member?"
No member.
No. Okay. See, he looks up, and as he looks up, his eyes are a pale white, almost snowblind look. But he seems to look up to you, and as he does that, you hear a soft flap of wings, and looking around, notice a uh, bird comes down, landing on the man's shoulder, on the elf's shoulder. He has jet black hair that is slicked back with the long pointed ears characteristic of many elves, sharp, regal looking features, though currently does have dark bags under his eyes and worry lines across his forehead. The bird that lands on his shoulder appears to be a golden eagle almost, and has the same snowblind white eye look to it as well. And the bird looks you over. All right. Can I have your paperwork then, or let me see. New recruit. He begins pulling out sheafs of parchment. And instead of holding it in front of his face, he holds it in front of the bird.
Okay.
Are you Esteban?
No, I'm Luca.
Luca. Okay. Puts the sheaf of paper away, begins pulling out some new ones, and holds it in front. Okay. So you're the one that the Black Staff recommended. Okay. We have your paperwork all filled out. Let's see. You have yourself under wizard. Okay. What is your arcane focus? Or do you use components?
Oh, wait. Uh-oh. Luca would pull out, like, a long, thin rod about the size of his forearm. You know, about as thick around as a penny and about as long as his forearm. It'd be carved with, like, these runes and sigils. This would be my focus.
Very good. Okay, so we don't need to worry about getting you an arcane focus or getting you a bag of components. Really hate going through all the bat shit back there, but okay. So, you are new, you are a member of the Black Staff, and you are aware of magic and its capabilities. This is very good. I don't have to go through everything that I need to go for everyone else. So, welcome to the Eyes of the Fallen. Here you can find a bedroom if you need housing, we have it. Over this way, he points off to his right towards a door that currently has a sign that says occupied on it. This is where we have our latrine, or where you need to go if you need to do your business here. And down that way, as he points to another door, there's the library as well as the guildmistress's office and a bathing room for you to clean up from your various adventures. Currently we are waiting on a few more members to join before we would have you sent out on your first excursion. So, for now, get a sense of the land, get yourself familiar with the rules, and that is a good point. And he begins pulling out another sheaf of paper and puts it down in front of you. You can see that this lists out the rules. Basically, the majority of the rules come down to, like, common sense. Don't be a dick. No stealing from other guild members. No stealing from the guild. All known associates to guild members can and will be looked into if they should interfere or inject themselves into guild matters. So that's basically saying, like, if you call on a contact and they begin to really poke into the guild, then the guild has the right to check in on those contacts.
Gotcha.
But one rule does stick out to you. Under no circumstances are you to have any relation or membership with the... How do I not have all of my notes put down in front of me at this very moment when I need them? You ever think that you can just hold it all in your head and not have to worry about it?
Yes.
Yeah. Where did I put that information at? Is it in... I had it, and now it's gone. Okay. There is an opposing guild known by... known as the Hand of the Fallen. That's right. Go ahead and roll me a history check if you could.
Ooh, I'm good at those. Let me roll that. That's an 11.
Hand of the Fallen, not really sparking anything in your mind specifically. The only thing that you can distantly remember is there was a group that had allied themselves with Xanathar's guild for a short time. Their allyship ended abruptly, as most do with the guild of Xanathars, but that's about the only thing that you can really spark and hold down.
No problem there.
Alright, then once you have acquainted yourself with the people, the rooms and board that you are offered, the guild mistress will call upon you whenever she has the group settled.
Understood.
Very well. Then, once again, welcome to the Eyes of the Fallen. And I wish you luck on your future endeavors.
Thank you.
And I think with that, we can end this session here.
Okay.
Fun little introduction, getting an idea of this area, and then some role play to see what accents work best.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was having a hard time keeping my this is like one of the first time I've been doing an actual accent for a character, and it's like, ooh, wow, this is flipped between like 4 different accents over the course of like half an hour.
Oh yeah, I feel that pain. Every single time I try to do an accent and try to keep it in mind for what character is currently talking and what accent that character had. Oh. But
Fair.
I hope you had fun. Enjoyed.
I did.
Having the spotlight for a little bit for this mini session.
Fair enough.
And I look forward to seeing what Luca can do in the upcoming sessions.
depending on what happens, he might just switch totally into wizard later down the line, especially if he's going to go after the title of the Black Staff. But we'll have to see what happens there.
Absolutely. All right.
Ex-
Anything else?
No, that's about it for me.
All right then. We'll call the stream here. Thank you to everyone for watching. Also, thanks to Pocket Bard for ambiance and noise. Really enjoy it. Might become a premium member to get more access to the other fun stuff in it. But otherwise, we will see you guys in the next episode. The next character intro, I hope to get done either tomorrow or a few days before the actual session, so we can have those all put out so people can watch and then they get to see. But
yeah.
All right. See y'all later.